我哋呢一部分呢，其實係好自然地呢，就係承接住第一部分裏邊提出好多問題呢，而進一步嘅深化討論。因為第一部分呢，其實我哋討論一個問題呢，就係點樣呢？從一個供應嘅角度呢，我哋能源嘅選擇上邊呢，去面對呢個氣候變化問題。咁但係頭先我嗰位講者呢，其實都提到一個好重要嘅地方嘅就係其實可能最關鍵呢，就唔係用啲咩能源嘅問題。最關鍵嘅問題咧就係點樣去用少啲能源。咁所以呢個牽涉咗一個行為上嘅改變，一個需求上面嘅減低。咁但係講到香港嘅環保問題咧，其實好有趣嘅。你問大家任何市民，我哋支唔支持環保咧？個個都支持。但係你問我哋可唔可以當你等下小巴嘅時候咧，未開嘅時候熄咗匙冇冷氣得唔得咧？大家就好大反應。大家又好支持環保，但係每日咧買報紙都唔知點解係要攞個膠袋同個包紙巾。咁所以歸根究底咧，可能就係一個行為上邊咧，我哋作出啲改變咧，先可以面對而家我哋最關鍵嘅問題。咁頭先我啲觀察好有趣嘅就係有啲朋友咧，即係行為上邊作出好大嘅配合嘅，面對我哋而家嘅問題。譬如頭先我見到張韻琪咧喺台上邊咧係自己帶咗個水樽減低呢個對呢個塑料嘅消耗。咁頭先其實我同樣地都嘗試呢個大邱局長嘅，因為佢首先佢帶我哋先啦，話點解我哋仲用紙杯飲咖啡？咁我話你唔帶個杯嚟，點知佢真係帶咗個杯嚟。OK， 咁我哋時間關係咧，我哋馬上開始第二部分嘅討論啦。咁今日咧，我哋好高興咧有4位講者同埋阿邱騰華局長咧做一個總結嘅。咁首先咧，按我最右手邊開始啦。首先第一位咧就係林超英教授。咁啊，林教授大家可能熟悉啲嘅前天文台台長啦嚇，而家咧就係香港中文大學地理及資源管理系嘅專聘客席教授。咁第二位咧就係范雪米小姐 Rachel Flisman， 佢咧就係商界環保協會氣候變化商界論壇總監。第三位咧就係吳欣榕教授，香港中文大學建築學院教授。咁當幾位發言完之後咧，就會邱騰華局長咧為我哋進行呢個總結同埋啲回應嘅。我哋其實仲有一位朋友咧，就喺途中嚟緊嘅，就係余遠騁博士，世界自然基金會嘅氣候變化項目主管。咁嘅時間關係，我哋馬上請阿林超英教授咧為我哋作出嘅發言，好嘛？請林教授。
大家好，我唔係好習慣俾人叫做教授嘅，你叫我做老師，我就好似舒服啲。嗱，我咧今日自己揀咗個題目叫做氣候變化怎樣生活，就我應該係10分鐘多啲啦嚇，因為遲咗開嚇，咁我縮少少。怎樣生活？但係咧諗點樣生活之前咧，要先知道咩叫氣候變化，氣候變化點嚟？所以咧，因為而家做教授，我忍唔住要教下書嚇。第一，暖化加快，就呢個圖就係全世界平均氣温150年，咁咧就你會睇到啦，越近現代咧，佢係越加得快嘅嚇。咁仲有最基本概念，咩叫温室效應？温室效應咧就係如果呢個世界多二氧化碳、多甲烷，咁咧就地球嘅表面氣温啦就會高啲啦咁樣。咁詳細咧就去其他地方講啦咁當然其實仲有其他嘅，不過主要呢兩樣。咁點解我哋關注地球表面氣温呢？因為我哋生活喺地球表面度啊嘛，即係我中意講嘅，因為我係2米高嘅啫，最多咁我咪關注2米嘅空氣幾多度啦。姚明就可能2米幾啦，咁關注3米咁樣。即係咧，我哋係關心最低嗰層嘅氣温嘅嚇。咁咧就點嚟嘅咧？就係燒煤燒石油咧，就會攞啲能量俾我哋用，跟住放二氧化碳啊！呢個大家都共通知嘅。但係有一個比較上少人知，就係而家嘅畜牧業咧係工業化咗，喺呢個過程之中就會產生額外嘅甲烷，呢個咧就係亦都造成温室氣體多嘅問題嚇。咁咧就 直到而家都有人話，究竟氣候變化同人有冇關係？呢個圖呢，就係政府間氣候變化專門委員會呢喺2007年發表嘅圖，即係呢其實就係好多科學家用數值模式，即係電腦咧去計，如果咧知道天上有幾多二氧化碳、幾多氧氣、幾多咩氣、幾多咩氣呢，就計到個地球應該幾多度嘅。咁呢度呢，就係講緊呢就係100年，講緊100年嘅嚇。咁呢就呢條數點計呢？呢條數就係將人類排放嘅二氧化碳掹出嚟，將人類排出嚟嘅二氧化碳掹出嚟嚟計嘅。咁早期呢度仲差唔多，但喺60年代、70年代之後開始呢，原來唔計人類嗱，黑色就係觀察，藍色呢就係計出嚟。原來唔計人類排放二氧化碳呢，搞下70年、80年、90年代呢就越差越開，即係話呢條數計漏咗啲嘢咁好似。咁其實嗰啲電腦模式都好犀利㗎，啲火山爆發公LG 衝Pinatubo 係火山爆發，佢捉到㗎，佢都可以計到佢跌㗎。咁但係我哋將人類嘅二氧化碳擠翻入去咧，咁你就突然間咧就 fit 啲嘅。咁咧就基本上係呢幾個圖咧，就喺2007年之後開始咧，就好多人相信咧，就二氧化碳人類排上天嘅額外嘅二氧化碳咧，係造成我哋而家氣候變化溫度越升越快嘅。咁但係好多人都知道，氣温成日都起起落落㗎啦咁樣。咁但係問題就係呢，我哋要用一個長遠啲眼光嚟睇。我呢個圖呢，就係講緊1萬年嘅，呢度係現在，呢度係1萬年前，呢度呢就講天上有幾多二氧化碳。原來1萬年前呢係260度，但係呢個時候呢，就出咗農業，農業一出呢就會斬樹。斬樹咧，天上二氧化碳會增加嘅，咁咧就農業一路興起咧，就去到工業革命前咧，就去咗280，即係用咗1萬年咧，升咗20個單位。然後咧，工業革命出嚟啦，咁我哋人類開始燒煤、燒石油啦。其實基本上開燒煤先嘅，咁咧就燒咗點樣咧？燒咗成200年，去到1976年咧就係330，用咗200年升升50個單位，但係跟住咧再升多50個單位咧，就係30年。所以我想大家好留意呢樣嘢，就係呢個氣候變化入邊，主要係二氧化碳嘅變化。200幾年係升100，但係其中咧原來一半咧係最後30年，所以最後呢30年，我哋人類社會咧有一啲好奇怪嘅變化嘅。呢個咧就係同我哋點樣生活咧好大分別。咁亦都因此咧，我哋如果想扭轉佢咧，就要處理呢樣嘢。咁咧主要係乜嘢嘢咧？就係你睇下呢個圖，呢個圖咧就係原來人類每年放幾多二氧化碳上天。咁咧去到1950年咧就喺呢度個水平，但係去到2000年咧已經上到呢個水平，係6倍啦。喺50年之間，人類每年放上天嘅二氧化碳咧增加咗即係變咗6倍。咁呢個咧就係同我哋城市化、以經濟為主嘅發展，用好多嘢。用好多能量，就消費為主，消費主義推動經濟嗰樣嘢咧搞出嚟嘅，因此我哋要用好多能量去做嘢、去運嘢嚇，同埋住咧亦都用好多能量。所以呢，氣候變化主要嘅問題就係最後呢50年或者最後呢30年用好多化石燃料。咁呢個咧係同我哋嘅生活完全有關嘅。咁啲能量用咗去邊呢？咁樣，如果係我哋睇一個典型嘅大城市香港。如果屋企係用咁多能量嘅話，屋企如果係用咁多能量嘅話咧，原來咧用喺運輸嗰度係2份嘅，咁勁嘅。商業亦都係2份嘅，工業就半份都唔夠啦。即係話咧，綠色團體叫我哋喺屋企慳電咧係冇用嘅。綠色團體叫我哋慳電慳剩咧，只係1/5嘅問題。原來咧仲有4分幾咧冇處理，嗰4分幾係乜嘢啊？其實就係商業運輸，咪就係買嘢運嚟運去嗰部分啊。嗰部分亦都反映咗我哋城市生活一個好大嘅特質，就係買嘢送嚟送去，同埋啲人咧行嚟行去嚇。 咁咧呢個就係即係以趨勢嚟睇，俾大家方便睇啫。呢個就係由80幾年到2005年咧，住宅就升，不過唔夠商業升得犀利，運輸都升。最犀利係商業，用咗去商業嘅能量係最多嘅。咁商業即係乜嘢啊？商業即係其實即係消費嘅啫，講到尾。咁所以呢啲嘢全部都係能喺消費嗰度。咁我哋城市人呢，有時就主要覺得哇，我哋係受害者嚟嘅，將來氣候變化呢，食水又危機啊，食物又危機，有疾病啊，弱勢社群又好辛苦咁。但係呢，其實呢，我哋主要係破壞者。我哋呢就會直接消耗能量啦，譬如製冷、製熱、交通運輸，一間屋、一座大廈泵啲水上去啊，行 lift 啊，都用好多能量啊，仲有好多燈啦，係嘛？但係呢，好多人唔為意，仲有一部分仲勁。就係咧，我哋消耗嘅能量咧係間接嘅，就係咩啊？我哋進口嗰啲消費品啊，進口嗰啲食物，做嗰陣時喺外地度放二氧化碳嘅，其實係我哋應該負責嘅。我哋咧一向平時咧冇諗呢樣嘢。仲有一啲就係我哋食好多肉啦，但係跟住食唔晒啦，抌喺堆填區度又會放啲甲烷出嚟，垃圾都係㗎，垃圾嘅垃圾喺堆填區度放甲烷出嚟，都係溫室效應。係浪費，消費之後嘅浪費。所以講香港放咁多二氧化碳上天呢，就係呢一紮嘢。我今日想話俾大家聽，香港其實係消費之都。我哋香港人呢好特別嘅，即係去買嘢呢，即係香港人呢，唔好意思呢度講英文。如果我哋去填表呢，要填 hobby， 咁咧可以喺香港人可以填 shopping 嘅。我諗係其他地方冇嘅。係香港人咧 shopping 買嘢咧可以變成一個嗜好嘅，全世界冇嘅。而且我哋咁樣喎，我哋每次使錢嗰陣時仲會話，唉，我哋促進經濟嘅。所以咧 shopping 係個 virtue 嚟嘅，係一個好嘢嚟嘅。即係我哋香港係咁樣諗嘢法㗎。我哋咧喺過去嗰幾廿年咧，由父母見我哋慳儉變成咁樣。所以呢度有個價值觀嘅問題，就係而家香港人好似使錢咧先至係幫緊其他人咁樣樣。於是咧我哋就好樂意使錢，但係其實啊，我哋輸入嘅貨物入邊咧含有二氧化碳排放量嘅，不過喺人哋嗰度放啫嘛。聽唔聽得明我呢句説話？冇人岌頭嘅。好啊，謝謝啊 ，thank you。咁咧，有一種計算方法就叫做 consumption-based accounting of carbon dioxide emission， 即係話咧以消費為基礎嘅二氧化碳排放會計，好長個名。如果我哋咁樣計呢，我哋淨係計嗰個淨輸入啊，香港人均即係每個人每年因為買嘢咁樣嗰個淨輸入喺人哋放嘅二氧化碳排放量呢，根據啱啱今年出嘅文章呢，係世界第二，就9.2噸。咁咧世界第一呢，嗰篇文就話係盧森堡。不過呢，作者就話，因為盧森堡嗰度嗰個人口呢，有啲巧妙。喺嗰度買嘢嘅人都唔喺盧森堡度住嘅，所以佢計出嗰條數咧，其實係唔啱嘅。如果將盧森堡剔走咧，香港係全世界淨輸入二氧化碳排放量最多，人均啊，所以我哋係最消費用得最多嘅地方，冇人諗到嘅。我睇完篇文我都嚇親。如果我哋包含消費在內，加埋本地嘅二氧化碳排放咧，我哋咧。呢個係2004年嘅數據，就2010年嘅文就係14.8噸，輸入佔60%。即係我哋香港啊，面對住呢個世界話，我哋要孭幾多責任嘅話，嚟嘅責任60%係消費輸入嚟嘅，40%就喺本地噴出嚟嘅。所以呢，着眼點呢要留意喺消費嗰度。咁咧就加埋本地排放嗰啲呢，我哋世界排第7。即係除咗盧森堡之外，我哋見到就有美國喺度嘅，美國永遠都排第一啦嚇。咁但係我想俾大家睇下呢，就係我同好多聽眾而家都講呢樣嘢。你睇下其他地方啦，美國22大過我哋啦，咁係人都知道美國係最多噶啦。咁但係睇下其他啲地方，柬埔寨啊、緬甸啊，哇0點幾嘅咋？烏干達、埃塞俄比亞係0.1幾啊。咁我都去過緬甸，我都去過柬埔寨，我都覺得嗰度啲人本地嘅人都幾快樂㗎，都幾開心㗎，唔係好似我哋想象佢哋好多憂愁嘅。原來人哋快樂可以用咁少 放咁少二氧化碳，用咁少能量嘅。我哋香港有啲咩問題咧？即係我哋同佢哋係100倍嘅世界，100倍。咁我哋有冇快樂過佢哋100倍咧？定係其實我哋嘅憂慮多過佢哋100倍咧？我懷疑係後者，因為當你錢多，我投你好多幣藝嘅。咁呢個係香港人嘅驕傲，定係香港人嘅唔驕傲咧？其實真正要減少香港人要負責嘅二氧化碳排放咧，個重點係減少消費，係希望大家咧知道咧，去買嘢唔應該係 hobby 嚟嘅。其實你可唔可以買少幾件衫咧？即係呢個就係我成日問我啲聽眾嘅問題啊，就係屋企嘅衣服少一半可唔可以生活咧？你哋可唔可以生活啊？少一半都唔岌頭嘅。少一半可唔可以生活啊？得。少一半嘅鞋可唔可以生活啊？得唔得啊？不過如果全部都係少左邊嗰半就唔得啦。即係我呢句説話嘅意思就話，當你削減消費嗰陣時咧，你要係一個聰明咁削減嚇，唔好錯誤地做嘢。一個好嘅原則可以錯誤咁應用啊，全部抌晒左腳你就冇得行啦。咁可唔可以多啲時間唔去買嘢，同配偶、同兄弟姊妹、同朋友一齊呢？得唔得啊？得唔得啊？會唔會快樂啲呢？因此應該可以㗎嚇。做人點樣先至快樂啲呢？係擁有嘢定點呢？咁所以其實我覺得呢，有一樣最緊要嘅就係要諗下究竟，喂，全球同香港都係㗎。喂，經濟第一係咪真係一定經濟第一㗎？定係 GDP 第一？點解 GDP 係第一㗎？點解唔可以好似不丹咁咩 GHP 第一啊？即係 happiness production 快樂指數。其實開心緊要啊，定係第二樣嘢緊要咧？人點樣先至緊要咧？人點樣先至開心？我做過腦科手術，所以有時講嘢有啲問題。人點樣先至開心嘅咧？咁其實我覺得開心好簡單。簡單就係開心，咁咧，其實咧好多時講綠色生活，其實對我嚟講，綠色生活咧唔係話真係着晒綠色嘅衫咁解，而係咧係簡樸嘅生活，簡單嘅生活，對地球嘅要求最少，用最少嘅物質、最少嘅能量撐起自己。其實當你係用最少嘅物質、最少嘅能量撐起自己嗰陣時咧，你係有好多時間去建立你嗰啲所謂仁愛嘅生活、自然嘅生活，咁咧你就會開心嘅。咁咧就我覺得呢度係講緊政策，但係我覺得咧要講嘅係要改變人心，要改變人重視乜嘢嘢。減排只在一念之間。當我決定用少啲電嗰陣時，我好快就減少得好勁嘅。即係今日時間短咧，我就唔俾啲圖大家睇。我而家住同一間屋嘅人比較，即係佢係2年前將電費單睇到頭同尾嘅。2年前佢用幾多電，我用幾多電，我係佢嘅1/4。只不過因為我要用少啲電，我就係1/4。大家其實全部都可以用少3/4嘅電嘅喺屋企，其實係可以嘅。咁呢個咧就係我希望香港咧，大家可以喺自己內部用少啲能量； 2買少啲嘢。我哋用其他方法去行嗰個經濟，呢個咧就要有人諗啲政策出嚟啦。嗰啲我唔識啦。多謝大家。
OK， 我哋下一位講者咧係Miss Rachel Fishman，please。Thank you。
Show me how to use this. This is the answer button. Yes. While the PowerPoint is being brought up, I want to congratulate the organizers on providing this public forum. I think it's a sign of a thoughtful and engaged society that we talk about difficult issues and debate them and come out, hopefully, all having learned something. I'm thrilled to be here today representing the Business Environment Council. No, that's not ours. Hold that thought. I'm thrilled to be here today representing the Business Environment Council, which is just next door at the Jockey Club Environmental Building on Tatchie Avenue. It's a 20-year-old nonprofit business organization that advises and helps businesses to create more sustainability in their business models. I'm personally in charge of the Climate Change Business Forum, which is an initiative, a 2-year-old initiative within BEC. And I stand here before you in a 6-year-old suit. Looking very much forward to sharing some thoughts. I was asked to answer 2 questions today. That's okay. Number 1, what's the role of business in promoting low-carbon lifestyles? So we know that businesses make opportunities for shopping, but we also make opportunities for saving. We'll talk about that. And secondly, what do our member companies think of the government's climate change plan? So I think it's that one. So the short answer to the first one, what's the role of businesses in promoting low-carbon lifestyles, is really 2 parts. One is recognizing risk, and the second is mitigating the risk and seizing the opportunities. And I will soon have visuals to help you with this. It's okay.
Yeah, but we should have already a handout of your PowerPoint.
Oh, yeah, well, hopefully. No, that's not it. Okay, so visualize the first slide. The first slide is our carbon emissions, which are going up from left to right, very, very steep. And then there's a very steep drop-off. And the steep drop-off is what we will need to achieve if we want to assure ourselves of a 2-degree limit of warming, which in itself only gives us about a 50% chance of staving off the most egregious aspects of climate change. Here we go. Let's see if I can make this work. So you see this? So here's the first graph. So the first step is recognizing the risk to the world. And this is a graph of where we are, and those little dots indicate how quickly we'll have to start realizing emissions reductions if we are indeed to achieve the 2-degree limit, which in no way assures us safety, but at least gives us a shot at it. This, for those of you who can be afraid of graphs, this is a very frightening graph. Really, it is. Perhaps if those of you who enjoy roller coaster rides will look at the steepness of this curve. What I can say is that provides a real challenge for us to completely rethink how we live, our business models, our urban development models, really all of our underlying assumptions, which we very rarely question. If we are able to do this, we will be healthier, we'll have less toxics in our atmosphere, we will have a more secure, more dynamic, more energy-efficient economy, and we'll be more biodiverse. So that actually, scary as it may seem, those curves are actually the good news. The bad news, the even scarier thought, is continuing on the trajectory that we're on right now. And just a couple quick quotes. The World Energy Outlook, which just came out November 9th, says, a lack of ambition in the Copenhagen Accord pledges has increased our estimated cost of reaching the 2°C goal by $1 trillion. So we've wasted $1 trillion just this year, that's US dollars, and undoubtedly made it less likely that we'll achieve that goal. And HSBC, also not a radical organization, estimates that even with the Copenhagen goals, we will only have gotten about halfway to where we need to be. So that's the risk of inaction. Let's talk about the risk to business. This is a depiction of risk according to KPMG in a booklet for CEOs that they put out this summer. Okay. The lower horizontal line is the physical exposure to climate change. Vertical line, the cost to adapt. I would argue that as we go through time, all of these businesses are moving upwards and to the right. So no matter what your business model, if you look upstream to your supply chain, if you look downstream to your customers, there's going to be someone impacted in a very real way. Let's talk about that for a moment. Risks to business operations. Is this your warehouse after a deluge? is this your logistical supply chain? In fact, what this is the NASA, U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration modeling of what a 1 meter rise in sea level would do to the southeast China coastline. And you can see that several of the coastal cities are underwater. Is this your energy bill? And indeed, as we go forward and reach into ever newer technologies and renewable technologies, our energy bills will go up. And we've talked about the benefits as well as the costs of that today. And is this your customer, or is this your frontline employee? These are the really real costs to climate change that are already being felt by businesses in this region every year. So what is there to do? Mitigate risk, capitalize on opportunity. Business is about getting stuff done. Risk should be mitigated. Opportunity should be capitalized upon. That's opportunity, not being opportunistic. So this, if you can see, if you can read the English, it's getting ready for global warming, the cost of sunscreen has just gone up. That's not what we're talking about. Where can you find opportunity? Well, interestingly enough, business is realizing that you can find opportunity in regulation, in good regulation. If you could read the fine print, and you might not be able to, I apologize for that. If you look at the regulation coming into play around Asia, you'll see a lot of opportunity here. Growth in energy and infrastructure, low emission technologies, carbon markets, hydropower, reporting, reducing, clean tech research, energy efficiency, opportunities for innovation in transport, energy management, forest management, oil and gas and industry. An observation I would offer for you is that risk is becoming more and more a hygiene issue. You know, in the morning, you brush your teeth and then you go out and face the world. Companies are beginning to brush up on their energy efficiency internally as a first step to addressing the risks of climate change. There are 4 kinds of opportunities that we've seen in a very real way in our businesses. So the first is this teeth brushing. It's this bottom line. What can you do internally to improve your own energy efficiency? And here we have highly celebrated and mandated Hong Kong government applied 25.5 degrees temperature in all of our offices. I don't know how many of your offices are 25.5. I'm the police person in my office, sitting next to the thermometer. Secondly, engaging your stakeholders. And you see Walmart here. Walmart is one of our member companies. They're famous for this. It's all about collaborating and taking your sustainability pledge both up and down the supply chain. Walmart's made this a science. In 2005, Walmart CEO Lee Scott made a 3-part pledge to be supplied 100% by renewable energy, to create zero waste, and to sell products that sustain our resources and environments. This year, they added to that pledge by committing to reduce 20 million metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions from its supply chain by the end of 2015, which is the equivalent to moving more than 3.8 million cars from the road for a year. They're serious about this, and they're working with a lot of companies in our region and moving everybody up the carbon learning curve in the process. Top line, new products and services. This is helping your customers walk the talk, making your products more accessible and less resource consuming, cutting down on packaging, logistics costs, and end-of-life costs. An emerging trend is turning products into services. So more and more you're seeing that customers, especially B2B customers, are freed from the increased capital costs and maintenance responsibility, and now everything from copiers to carpeting to cars can be leased and then returned. And that it increases the importance of the producer on keeping the good or service upgraded, ensuring long lifetime quality, and then also an end-of-life disposal process. And finally, attracting money. Investors are starting to notice companies that are good at energy efficiency and good at climate change are good investments. And we saw this summer when the Hang Seng Bank launched the Hang Seng Sustainability Index. There were 538 companies, I think, evaluated, of which about half were Chinese and half were Hong Kong-based companies, and only 39 were chosen to make it through the sieve. About half of those were our member companies, and here's some of the names. Okay, moving on quickly to question 2. What do CCBF members think of the Hong Kong government's proposed climate change plan? Short answer to that is, it's a great start, and we have a lot of work to do. Very quickly, what's there, what's not. I'm not going to go over what's there. We've talked about that already today. What we think would add some texture and refinement to the analysis, an economic cost benefit and a health cost benefit, and then interim and aspirational goals. So goals prior to and targets prior to 2020, and then targets leading up towards 2050. Many of the developed cities of the world that are putting in place similar plans have done this, and it helps businesses to create the certainty and the transparency that they need for planning and for making long-term investments. In the interest of time, I won't go down through all of these, but the 6 bullets you'll see in the bottom right are some of our suggestions of how we could even strengthen the proposed plan. I'll talk about this next. On the fuel mix. We've just finished a big debate about nuclear, and I am not going to spend any time doing that, going into that. But from a Business Environment Council, Climate Change Business Forum perspective, we support the increase, support the new proposed fuel mix. Yes, for now, if it's done right. This does leave the lion's share of the work to CLP, according to one of the study authors. About 85% of the emissions reductions anticipated for 2020 does come from the fuel mix. And one thing that we'd like to make sure is that we're able to continue the level of reduction into past the 2020 timeframe, and that we all take on a responsibility as well. On buildings, we advocate, actually we look a bit like the Greenpeace presentation here. We advocate mandatory performance audits and standards. So we think that the green buildings have found their time in Hong Kong. We're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Green Building Council, of which we, BEC, was one of the 4 parents. Don't try to picture that. 4 parents, 1 child. A lot of instruction being given to the Green Building Council right now by its many parents. But we think that the time has come, and we can create some really ambitious targets for ourselves that are internationally, they're based on international standards that increase over time, that again create that certainty for business to make the right sorts of investments, and we'd be happy to help to craft those standards. On transport, we support the low-carbon transport zones and the government's proposal on that, and would even sort of ante up a bit more, that we could focus a bit more on personal mobility, so focusing on people rather than cars, making more low-carbon choices available, although our public transport system really is excellent. The one big sore point, and I won't belabor this because many other people have, is we think we could be more ambitious on upgrading our buses and trucks to be much, much more fuel efficient and much less polluting, and there would be a huge benefit to human health in the short term. And on waste, again, we support what the government has proposed, and we think we need to do even more, particularly in the area of waste minimization, segregation, and management. Both household and commercial waste. And then also reducing construction waste. Our friends in the construction industry say that just changing some standards and putting in place the right incentives or rules, so both carrots and sticks, could really create a lot more savvy purchasing on the part of the builders, and therefore a lot less waste in the offset. 2 more elements we would add. One is reducing consumer demand. And since Professor Lam just talked so eloquently about shopping, I won't go into that, but to sort of endorse his plea that Hong Kong people can certainly do more to contribute to the environment besides shop. But really raise public awareness. I know this isn't always easy to do, but actually the people in this room, the professors and the students, are probably best positioned of anyone to make intelligent choices and just to model by example how to be good green citizens. And make low carbon choices more attractive. And frankly, the two biggest things I can do in my life to reduce my carbon footprint are be vegetarian and offset my flights. But both of those things cost more. It costs more to buy organic, locally grown vegetables. It costs more to offset my flights. I can do it, I can afford it, but not everybody can. Is there a way to make it more affordable for everyone? And one additional element that we think would be the feather in the proverbial cap would be a government pledge. The government is a really important part of the economy here. The government actually has 4 unique roles as creator of law and standards, protector of public health, guardian of the public commons, including clean air, clean water, and biodiversity, and market maker. So taking on the full responsibility of these roles would include creating a sustainability program for the government more broadly. So a carbon audit of all government buildings and activities and commitments to reporting and reducing the same way businesses. So as Secretary Yao has come to businesses and said, can you make significant reduction pledges, 20%, 30% in your businesses? And we try to rise to that challenge. We would ask him to join us in that. And frankly, we'd ask other parts of the government to show more support for what EPD is trying to do, because that's not been evident to date. And that's one of the reasons why we are supportive of the plan, is because we think it's worth investing in. The problem with the climate change isn't the climate, it's the change, and the change that's the hardest is changing people. And with that, I thank you.
跟住落嚟咧，我哋有請中文大學嘅吳欣榕教授。
頭先阿 William 打電話俾我啊，所以個電話響，佢話遲啲先到，所以我講先。咁最緊要最精彩啲去講啊，嚟咗啦，唔係。咁我準備個 PowerPoint 嘅時候，我就冇諗過局長會喺度嘅，所以一陣間唔好意思嚇。不過我係有好處就係學者咧就可以亂爆嘅，不過你哋可以唔聽。咁我今日咧就想比較用啲輕鬆啲嘅方法嚟同大家分享一啲嘅感受嚇。啲數據啲嘢係冇重要嘅。咁我又有2個方法去救地球嘅啫嚇。咁呢個嘢咧就大家都知嘅，啲數據咧我今朝先喺嘅 EMSD 嘅網站輯落嚟嘅。咁最緊要嘅咧就其實咧就係呢條 curve。嗱，我哋喺過去呢10年裏邊咧，嗰個 carbon intensity 咧不斷下降嘅嚇，即係唔做任何嘢個 carbon intensity 都下降緊嘅。下降咧就係大概係20幾個%嘅，即係一啲嘢唔使做，我哋都係好好嘅。但係咧，我哋嘅碳排放咧就係或者用電咧係繼續上升緊。咁就問緊咧，即係話如果政府嗰個嘅指標係50至60嘅話咧，其實咧香港如果賺多啲錢咧，就一啲都事都冇嘅。咁啊好簡單做好嘅，即係好容易做嘅呢樣嘢嚇，唔係咁難做嘅真係。第二樣嘢咧就係我想即係大家都可能知咧，即係啲建築物啊、啲車咧自己咧就唔會用能量嘅，就係我哋用嘅啲能量嚇，所以咧其實係關乎我哋，唔係關乎啲實質嘅嘢。所以今日講嘅嘢就係講我哋嘅生活嗰個lifestyle 嘅嘢，就係今日要講嘅嘢。呢個嘢咧就係好簡單，即係我哋做嘅研究咧就話，如果咧你用能量咧就因為你唔舒服嘅啫，即係你覺得好熱啊咩嘅。呢個咧就其實就係天文台嗰啲數字啊。呢一個松裏邊咧就係我哋個 comfort zone 啊，即係舒服就係呢個位啦。咁當然有啲人呢個位窄啲嘅，但係通常嚟講大位。咁夏天嗰時你發覺咧就係香港咧就係喺即係熱啲嘅時候咧就係離開咗個 comfort zone 嘅，即係夏天嗰時候你係要啲方法去減低個熱量嘅，係咪？就喺呢個位 就呢個位咧，其實就係我哋需要熱量嚟到去俾我哋舒服嘅時候。咁你發覺呢有一樣嘢就係咧，呢啲虛線咧其實好有用嘅，即係話咧，如果你覺得唔舒服嗰陣時候，你會點咧？因為後生嗰陣時，即係會開風扇啦，係咪？咁呢條虛線咧就係個風扇啦，為你開幾多風扇先開。其實咧，發覺咧，就算係香港好熱嗰日咧，開風扇咧其實係冇問題喎。點解要開冷氣啊？真係唔知啦，係嘛？呢個咧就係即係呢個係比較科學啲嘢咧，上堂就講嘅，教授會講呢啲嘢嘅，所以你哋唔使識聽。即係意思就話你用能量係因為你哋覺得唔舒服，係咪就係咁簡單咧？咁有條問題咧就話咧，你喺極端環境裏邊係咪越嚟越頻繁咧？咁你覺得呢個氣候變化對我有冇影響咧？咁答案就好簡單，即係實攞100分咧，就係嘅。其實喺最近一個嘅文獻裏邊發覺咧，就係話即係超過28.2度咧，每1度升高咧，嗰個 mortality 即係死亡率咧係要增加1.8%，因為熱嘅原因。呢個係最近發表一個文章，係香港做嘅一個實驗嚟嘅。28.2度你睇到咧就好簡單咧，就28.2度其實就係呢個位。即係話，如果喺任何嘢冇咩熱島效應啊，咩嘢情況發生之下咧，都啱啱喺個位嘅樹嘅咧。有其他嘢增加咧，就係增加呢個嗰個28度嗰個嘅 threshold。香港咧有一樣嘢最近咧好流行嘅，就叫熱島效應。咁唔係蛋糕嚟嘅。咁咧就好簡單，就話咧，如果呢度係28度嘅時候咧，即係海邊咧，咁呢度咧就大概係30幾度。咁呢度啲人咧，大概每年嗰個熱夜咧，大概係10日至20日到嘅。我哋計過咧，呢度咧就係60日至90日嘅。意思即係話你日日咧都生活喺水深火熱裏邊，就咁簡單嘅啫。咁你日日咧都係等咩咧？等死啊！叫做我哋叫做唔好意思啊。咁你而家知道買屋買邊度啦，係咪？咁我盡量咧就唔將個香港島嗰邊show出嚟嘅，因為咧山頂咧就最好嘅，好綠色嘅。完全冇問題嘅，所以我成日都話咧，即係呢個氣候變化啊、熱島啊呢啲嘢係窮人嘅問題嚟嘅，唔係有錢人嘅問題。有錢人係冇呢個問題嘅，所以你知道點解山頂咁貴就咁解，因為即係好啲啊。我好中意呢張圖嘅，真係，因為咧我哋做實驗咧就知道咧呢個熱島效應咧同嗰個城市裏邊起幾多嘢咧係好有關係嘅。所以呢張圖咧話呢度起好多嘢咧就會上升熱度上升。咁我哋睇過之後咧，發覺係喎，呢度做熱涼啲喎，所以你買呢度冇問題嘅，買呢度就好慘所以呢張圖好科學嘅，唔知點解。所以我成日 show 俾學生睇啦，呢個就係熱島效應嘅最好嘅一個方法，睇呢張圖啦。呢個係我喺唔知邊個網站輯翻嚟嘅一張相嚟嘅。另外一樣嘢就好緊要一樣嘢就係呢張嘢。唔係，其實我知嘅。有一樣嘢係咧，其實咧好多時候咧，我哋用能量咧，因為好方便，唔係因為我哋唔舒服，而係因為好方便。大部分現今嘅生活嗰個能量都係用喺因為我哋方便。兩張圖好簡單，呢張中世紀嘅圖，一張係現今嘅圖，係咪？中世紀嘅時候，你如果凍啊、睇書啊、你要開窗啊、你坐個位啊、你看個方向咧，同埋着嘅衫咧，都係同你周圍嘅環境好有關係嘅。你盡量就唔會用能源嘅。但係如果到現代咧，你撳一個掣咧，就應該搞掂㗎啦，冇問題。其實我哋今日所用嘅能量好多時候係因為我哋想方便，唔係因為我哋要舒服。呢個係好重要嘅嗰個信息嚟嘅。大部分能量係用喺我哋想方便呢個嘅環節上面。咁又點解有咁多嘢令到我哋好方便呢？就係好多嘅工程師好興奮就話咧，你知唔知現今世代4大發明係咩嘢啊？咁我知道古代發明係咩，4大發明係咩啦，我就唔知道現今世代4大發明係咩。佢話好簡單啫，抽水馬桶、冷氣、lift 同埋電燈，冇咗呢4樣嘢咧就冇辦法生存嘅。其實啱過，其實諗下呢個現代4大發明，有咗呢4大發明之後咧，我哋可以做任何嘢。我哋建築師咧可以做天花龍鳳嘅嘢，乜都做得嘅。就因為咧有咗呢啲嘢咧，我哋可以即係點樣扭得嘅嗰啲建築物，個城市點樣起都得嘅，冇問題嘅，因為有能量嘅補救啊嘛。咁咧你就要需要好多呢啲咁嘅嘢啦。咁咧通常咧呢啲嘢之餘咧，我哋仲要加啲再生能源嘅。咁當然啦，呢個嘢就唔會喺你屋企嘅，係 made in China and stays there 好緊要嘅呢樣嘢，stays there 唔好過嚟啊！ 咁有咗呢個嘢之後呢，我哋就可以馬照跑，舞照跳，能量照用，好方便咁去生活啫。咁我仔呢，其實有個仲好啲嘅答案，其實佢成日畫公仔嘅時候呢，就畫啲得意嘢嘅。咁我畫咗之後呢，我做啲實驗嘅，就發覺咧佢畫啲嘢幾有原因嘅喎。開窗開風扇咁呢，就啲煙呢，就阿爸啲煙，即係唔係我啲煙啦，就會吹出去啦咁樣。其實有原因有道理㗎。咁點解嗰陣時我哋成日都鼓勵即係政府咧做啲對流窗咧？其實原因係因為我個仔畫咗張卡通片，就唔係因為其他嘢嘅啫。即係嗰啲其他啲研究係馬後炮嚟嘅。啲細路仔都知道點樣令到用好少嘅能源去生活。咁知道咗仔要啲咩之後咧，我哋就最近咧就幫發展局咁啊，幫屋宇署咧就做咗呢啲咁嘅。指引啦，係咪？呢個嘢就嚟出爐㗎啦，就係嗰啲屋宇滲透率啊、窄街後退啊，同埋啲綠化嗰啲嘢咧，就係我仔搞出嚟嘅，唔係任何人搞出嚟嘅嚇。所以下次如果見到林鄭局長嘅時候咧，就即係幫我多謝我仔。其實就係呢張圖搞出嚟嘅。我仲有一張圖嘅，不過今日唔 show。呢啲嘢咧就可以做咧，令到我哋嘅嗰個熱度咧就減低咧，就可以我哋比較舒服啲。但係問題咧，仲有一樣問題嘅，其實呢個係現代社會第5大發明，就個掣。以前咧，我哋熱咧就除衫嘅。我今日其實好想丙局長，不過發覺佢冇着jacket， 丙唔到佢。我諗住又可以丙啦，啲着西裝唔好意思啊，即係佢精，好鬼精。以前咧熱咧就除衫嘅，而家咧熱咧就開掣。因為我哋點解？因為我哋懶。仲有一個 remote control 嘅 version 嘅，即係連行去開掣都唔使嘅。因為點解？我哋好懶。嘅古代同而家咧就係咁嘅好大分別嘅啫，就係咁嘅分別啦。我哋叫呢啲叫做進步。呢張圖咧係有個美國嘅教授寄俾我嘅，我覺得真係經典啊！呢樣真係搞唔掂嘅真係。咁我係咪有啲咁嘅生活習慣咧？我哋咁懶嘅生活習慣咧，我啲學生如果由1樓搭 lift 落地下咧，我會丙佢嘅。咁跟住佢鬧鬼我，跟住寫投訴我，話哇教授唔準學生搭 lift，不近人情咁樣鬧我嘅。Anyway， 唔緊要，教授鬧開俾人或者係咁樣時候啦。其實好多能源咧係因為我哋覺得好方便，或者係我哋好想懶而嘥咗佢嘅。其實唔係咩嘅 ，OK。咁呢個咧，我哋繼續講一啲嘢咧，你哋可能唔係好啱聽。唔好笑啊！有幾多個踩單車嚟呢度嘅？冇咧，我都知道冇噶啦。我今日想踩單車嚟嘅，不過佢話冇地方泊。我泊咗都可能俾人偷咗佢。即係做唔到呢啲嘢嘅。我其實係踩單車翻學嘅，不過由馬鞍山踩去中大嘅啫，唔會由馬鞍山踩去中環。點解唔踩單車做翻學啊、翻工嗰啲嘢咧？咁傻嘢咧？就你啱嘅係咪？如果踩單車就會變咗咁，即係我就未俾人踩過咁。諗下，即係話呢個文件裏邊咧有講啲即係比較環保啲嘅交通嘅。其實好環保嘅交通就係單車。即係其實咧喺外國好多城市咧，即係用好多手段、好多方法咧係鼓勵你緊呢樣嘢。你今日去倫敦同我20年前住過倫敦咧係完全唔同嘅。20年前我踩單車去倫敦咧就隨時俾車撞死嘅。今日咧唔係嘅，架車隨時俾我撞死嘅。即係倒翻轉，即係比較好舒服嘅。揸住個單車就可以上 office 㗎啦。有地方泊嘅，即係個 courtroom 裏邊可以擠單車嘅。以前要擠出邊唔知鎖喺邊度，跟住俾人偷咗嘅。而家唔使。即係好多嘅方法嚟到政府咧，或者係啲企業咧做到咧，我哋可以好容易做到呢樣嘢嚇。攞個單車入地鐵啊，乜都得嘅。而家你試下攞個單車落地鐵，即刻話靚仔走，叫我靚仔有時嚇。咁有一日咧，我希望咧就我哋城市咧就有呢個嘅 option 啦。咁我可以踩單車嚟度，人哋做到，點解我哋做唔到咧？成個倫敦咁大都做到，點解我哋做唔到咧？佢哋有個相應嘅措施去做呢樣嘢。因為佢哋睇得好長遠嚇，咁整到啲車嗰啲入去就有 congestion charge 嘛，即係要俾好多錢嘅。跟住單車就好快好方便嘅，咁跟住俾個花灑你去到洗咁樣，個個都覺得係呢個係生活一部分嚟。我哋開會嗰陣時，個個揸住架單車有時，好好嘅，得我揸住個雪屐嘅。 但係咧就通常嚟講咧，即係車嘅driver 咧都有個 right 嘅，係咪？咁呢樣嘢就好難講嘅咋。我知道邱局長可能係而家揸架嘅嗰啲環保車㗎嘛，電動車㗎係啦，咁啊好啲啊。咁以前呢啲政府高官就揸嘅大車嘅嚇，不過我就實貼嘢嘅，咪貼啲心落去嘅，唔會貼啲，如果未俾佢捉鬼我。佢哋仲有 right away 嘅。咁以前咧，我返大陸嗰陣時係咁樣嘅，即係好逼熱啊，幾唔舒服嘅其實。咁而家進步咗好多啦，就變咗咁嘅。呢個真嘅喎，係唔知舊年咧幾年之係62公里嘅大塞車喺北京嚇，但係以後咧嗰啲車全部係電動㗎啦，所以唔驚嘅。就係變咁樣。咁咧就係一個咧就好聰明嘅人咧就繼續上班。所以咧呢個我回應呢個啲文件嗰陣時咧，就話更加好嘅使用環保嘅交通工具咧，我就要諗下咧，即係咪仲有啲好啲嘅環境個交通工具？但係你要忍得先得嚇。即係踩單車其實好舒服嘅，即係好健康嘅一樣嘢嚟嘅，係熱啲啦，但係冇計啦，係嘛？冇所謂。呢個文件好過癮咧，就係又係呢個文件就湊出嚟喎。唔知點解咁得意喎？就有架車咁，有架單車，我又唔知邊個 boss 啦。咁啊 ，real agenda 喺邊咧？我相信局長咧就好想人睇呢個單車，唔係想睇呢架車嚇。AM17係咪嚟嘅？817嚇。咁其實個單車咧就環保過架車嘅嚇。咁當然啦，如果你踩得好嗰陣時候，仲好啦，係咪？咁我就想睇話咧，即係話講，即係最後面講咧，就係話咧，如果我哋覺得將來有個我哋嘅後生仔呢下一輩有個將來嘅話咧，係咩嘅將來咧？係咪就係車嘅將來，或者係用核能嚟到繼續去做我哋嘅能源嘅將來，或者係我哋慳啲，或者係踩單車，或者健康啲嘅將來咧？咁呢個咧就我就其實呢張曬我係俾阿局長嘅，冇嘢嘅你哋唔使睇，你唔好睇啊。其實咧，我對呢個技術文件咧有個保留嘅，就係話咧，佢有核能，有個電車，就乜都冇嘅。其實好多時候好重要嘅嘢咧，就係嗰度乜都冇嗰度。所以我哋今日要講嘅嘢咧，其實就係乜都冇嗰度。我哋點樣去做好啲，而唔去依賴一啲嘅核能，而唔去依賴啲電動嘅嘢嚟到俾我哋更加快樂開心嚇。我相信呢個係呢條路仲要行好遠先得。咁個 future 咧就係我用呢張 slide 就代表我希望係好細嘅，將來咧就發展到好大啦。我講完。Okay.
咁我哋見到咧余博士啱到咗，咁我哋又請下余博士。或者係余博士準備嘅時候咧，我都買個廣告，因為大家都知道咧，我哋呢個公共政策圓桌系列咧，叫得一個系列咧，就唔係得一次嘅。今次係第6次啦，咁第7次咧，其實好快就嚟啦，就喺大概2個禮拜之後，12月18號咧，喺翻呢個地點。個題目咧，可能係更加如果唔俾呢個更加具爭議性咧，亦都相當重要嘅，就係關於醫療融資自願醫療保險嘅問題。咁喺18號嘅下晝1點45分至6點咧，喺同一個地點，希望大家咧到時有興趣咧準時出席嚇。咁嗰次亦都好高興咧，我哋有機會政府方面咧，阿梁卓偉副局長咧都會出現同我哋一齊討論嘅。咁希望大家留意同埋盡快報名。
記得。未定。冇聲啊！我幫你，我陣間幫你。好啊，好，你俾個咪我哋播出嚟記得。好，咁咧好多謝各位啱啱有一個 event，所以我都即係啱啱趕到過嚟。咁今日咧會同大家講下即係 behavioral change 嗰個 aspect。咁我會用翻我哋自己一啲過去做過嘅 program 嘅一啲經驗。咁咧從中咧去睇到即係我哋點樣去 engage 成個 public， 即係去即係對抗氣候變化。咁即係頭先即係都聽到阿 Edward 講即係好即係有一部分嘅信息，其實係需要咧，大家係有嗰個意識咧，一齊去行動先得嘅。即係依個係非常之重要嘅一個部分。哦，OK。OK。咁即係技術上有啲咁我會繼續講。我相信呢，即係去到而家即係諮詢報告呢個氣候變化諮詢報告嘅關鍵點嘅時候呢，其實我哋睇到有一個前提嘅，即係好多個辯論裏邊呢，就係話我哋足唔足夠時間去讓大眾真係一齊有意識，譬如話去一齊去慳電啊，一啲嘅 infrastructure 配唔配合到啊，以至係究竟係呢幾年時間，我哋係咪應該即刻開始去 engage 到啲 public 一齊去行動呢？咁樣咁有一啲嘅討論呢，即係譬如話，即係頭先講到能源組合嗰啲討論呢，就係似乎背後就係講緊就係教育啲公眾去行為改變需要時間嘅嚇，我哋未必有咁足夠嘅時間去改變，所以不如我哋用改變即係能源組合。就解決咗碳排放嘅問題啦，就好過大家走去慳電，將整體嘅用電量降低。我相信呢，即係呢個係大家好唔同嘅一個嘅考慮。咁我相信需要考慮嘅，因為聽日唔會即刻改變嘅整體嗰個行為，但係同樣亦係即係講緊一樣好重要，就係今日我哋需要即刻行動。我哋今日需要呢，用同樣嘅精力，同樣嘅 efforts 去令到即係公眾去開始行動。咁咧，我可以舉一啲例子係即係過去提到嘅咧，就係關於即係話一啲公眾嘅參與嘅慳電嘅部分。咁咧，我哋睇到咧就係政府立法嗰個部分咧，係其中一個好重要嘅部分啦。另外咧就教育係一個好重要嘅部分啦。到最後咧就係個配套設施咧都係重要嘅部分嚟嘅。咁呢三個部分咧係都要即係話 in parallel 去做嘅。咁如果你睇翻外國經驗咧，或者我唔等佢 PowerPoint 啦，我直接講 PowerPoint 裏邊嘅內容。外國有一啲嘅 social research 嘅 survey 裏邊咧，去睇到咧就話，我哋要 engage 首先就係要揀一啲群體嚟 engage，咁咧佢哋嗰個 behavioral change 個變化係會快捷啲嘅。咁譬如話係乜嘢咧？有一啲 community base 嘅 grouping，我哋係應該快啲去 engage 嘅。咁 OK， 好，OK 好。好啊，我本來有段片播，不過唔緊要。OK， 咁咧就係咪啊？係 OK。好，咁咧就我先收到一個UK 嘅 research 咧，就係話個關於個 behavioral change， 即係啲市民嗰啲態度。咁你睇到咧過去咧，佢係每2年到做一次嘅呢啲 consumer behavioral change。譬如咧，你會睇到咧就話多咗人 agree， 即係一個 green lifestyle 嘅嗰個 percentage 嘅係上升咗嘅即係原來一個綠色生活咧係可以㗎因為我哋睇到環境局好多短片就係綠色生活，咁咧就多咗人去同意。咁當然呢個係 UK 嘅 base 嚟嘅，佢2007年做過一次，2009年再做過一次。咁咧就其餘嘅問題咧都同 climate change 有關嘅，譬如話 climate change 係咪已經 beyond 個 control 咧？係咪其實太遲啦？要做任何嘢都太遲咧？咁你發覺咧係 即係大家同意咗，未必係好似嘅。多啲人同意咧，而家仲可以做嘢嘅。咁我哋睇到咧，即係個 attitude 上面嗰個轉變。咁而28% 嘅人咧就同意話，即係話我其實對 climate change 冇影響，唔係因為我行為，唔係因為我生活咧對個 planet 對個地球有 impact。咁而你睇到依然咧都有一定數量，差唔多1/3嘅人仍然覺得我嘅生活對呢個世界冇影響嘅，即係話我唔需要做咩嘢，我亦唔需要考慮環保嚇，因為原來我生活、我嘅消費、我製造嘅垃圾，原來我嗰個碳排放對個世界冇咩影響。咁你會睇到有一啲咁樣嘅 percentage 喺度啊，咁都係 positive 嘅。咁咧就我特別想大家 highlight 咧就係話呢個藍色嗰度。Disagree with it's not worth me helping the environment if other don't。嗱，呢個一個心態嘅就係話，我值唔值得去做嘢咧？如果其他人都唔做，呢個心態咧就係話，淨係我自己要做好似好傻，因為其他人都唔做。我呢度咧就表達咗咧，我一個人力量好細，我究竟做幾多都幫唔到個大圍㗎啦。嗱，呢度好緊要嘅，即係呢種嘅思想心態。咁我哋睇到即係有個 change 喺度啦，即係話多啲人會覺得佢哋做嘢係會幫到手嘅，咁就唔會個個都係等其他人去做。嗱，咁仲有其他嘅好 interesting 嘅慳電膽啊，shopping bag 我哋推出咗咁耐啦，係一個即係好重要嘅一個政策。咁你睇到係外國係多咗。咁有一啲都唔係好 impressive 嘅，即係你如果再睇落去咧 ，recycle 嗰啲都係個數唔係好高嘅啫。我哋好似啲數字靚啲啊嘛。咁咧就我想講乜嘢咧？就係呢度都有個 implication 嘅。譬如喺換燈膽嗰啲都係嘅，即係有一啲行為綠色嘅行為，你轉變咗之後，佢係咪持續繼續到咧？嗱，呢個咧係有一個特別嘅地方嘅。嗱，我哋當然啦，即係譬如我近期睇到英國嘅例子，就係佢哋咧去到120萬個家庭喺倫敦開始就裝 smart metering， 即係啲咪錶睇你用電嘅情況，兼且咧即係話有一啲嘅立法，政府去到能源公司。叫啲能源公司同服務商即係入去屋企去即係譬如話換咗啲慳電嘅燈具啊，有啲 insulation 做好啲啊咁樣。咁佢哋而家開始一個咁大規模嘅活動。咁你會睇到咧，就係佢哋裝咗呢啲嘢之後咧，個 saving 咧就係以後都係㗎啦 ，permanent 㗎啦。即係嗰個 changes 係重要嘅。而我哋要睇到兩種政策之間個 behavioral change 有咩差別，就係有一啲咧就係我今年派錢俾你，然後叫你慳電，咁 last 唔 last lasting， 即係long 唔 long lasting 咧，即係話持續咧，定係話我換咗一個慳電膽啦，之後咧即係以後就繼續慳咧咁。咁呢一啲政策嘅 difference 我哋需要注意嘅。咁咧就 overall 即係你睇到咧就係話。多咗一小部分人願意覺得自己嘅行為係可以即係幫到手，幫到個地球，唔會太遲嘅，仍然可以做一啲嘢嘅嚇，即係唔會話特別而家都放棄㗎咁樣。咁所以即係你會睇到即係唔同嘅 behaviour 咧裏邊，我哋可以睇幾個 aspect。咁而係頭先我講過嗰個 research 咧裏邊咧就話，我哋要 get 到個 support 就係一個 community base 嘅一個 support。即係原來發覺一啲特別嘅 grouping，佢自己之間因為有 peers 之間 encouragement 啊，即係或者即係同濟啊嚇，同輩之間嘅一個 pressure 都好啊。咁咧呢一啲行為改變喺某一些 grouping 咧會特別快嘅。譬如係喺外國church 啊或者 uniform group 咧，佢哋喺行為改變上面咧傳遞個消息啊各方面會比較好比較快。咁呢度係值得我哋去諗嘅。當我放資源落去嘅時候，究竟即係邊啲 resources，邊個 grouping 係最快見效咧？而佢哋可以成為一個 catalyst 去影響其他咧。咁呢度係值得即係可以去考慮嘅一個部分。咁另外咧就係我哋點樣去 frame 即係 climate change 呢個 risk 嘅部分啊？即係我哋喺傳遞嗰個嘅 message 上面，咁咧就分幾個，我會特別即係有啲我 skip 咗 economic welfare base 啊 personal welfare base 咩意思咧？即係如果大家記得咧，就係我點樣去 將一個咁抽象嘅嘢同 public 去 communicate 咧。嗱，如果上年記得嗰本哈根嗰個廣告咧，係一個細路女啊，跟住橫風橫雨，成個變天嘅，記得嘛？咁你呢啲好 emotion 嘅 association 之餘咧，其實咧係我要去 make changes， 人要去改變嗰陣時，個 justification 係從一個有一啲嘢出發，都係個人利益嚇，人性嚟嘅，個人利益裏邊咧去出發嘅。譬如話，喂，呢個關係你下一代喎，咁你都會諗下，係我真係要做一啲改變，我真係要做一啲嘢喎。咁呢個會係一個其中一個 frame 咗成個 climate 嘅 issues 嘅一個。另外 economic base 係最清晰㗎啦嚇，咁咧就叫大家慳電嚇，香港就出晒名嘥電嘥到即係個情況係好驚人嘅嚇，即係我哋做咗好多報告啊，或者係前排做 A 級寫字樓同 B 級 C 級寫字樓嗰個用電嘅情況啦嚇，最貴租最裝潢好嘅 A 級寫字樓個能源效益係最低嘅。咁即係我哋會睇到咧好多空間咧係我哋浪費緊電嚇，嗰度咧係個 root problem 我哋要 address。咁而喺嗰度要話俾大家聽咩咧？就係話你叫我慳電為咗咩先？為咗我荷包咧，我願意咯。即係話同個 economic term 要有個掛鈎咧，咁個 incentive 會大啲咯。大家去做嘅時候嚇，咁而家我哋睇到我哋有一啲低碳辦公室嘅計劃喺香港啦。咁啲僱主係好明顯睇到嗰個 energy saving， 咁減低咗佢 operational cost 咧，佢哋願意去做多啲嘅。咁所以咧，即係你睇到成個 perception 嘅轉變，呢個係即係重要嘅，即係大家點去睇嗰件事。咁即係喺個 attitude change 裏邊分 direct intervention 咧，即係喺呢個 social psychology 裏邊同 indirect intervention。有一啲嘢咧就係你改變咗個態度咧，同時改變佢行為。有一啲嘢你唔使改變佢態度嘅，佢未必 agree 你嘅，你改變佢行為得㗎啦嚇。公司放咗3色桶咁樣，冇一個唔分類嘅垃圾桶咁，佢要抌嘢嘅時候咧，佢都要轉啦。佢知道啱啱飲完嗰個膠樽橙汁要掉落去 plastic 嗰個 box 咁樣。所以咧，我哋可以即係分兩個層次，唔同階段咧去推呢一啲即係 behavioral change 嘅 program。咁就呢個我 skip 咗佢啦。咁另外咧就係話，我哋去揀個 target group 嘅時候咧，喺外國一啲 survey，M&S 同埋 Henley， 即係都當然係英國嘅 survey 比較多啦，我都係用得。就你睇到4類嘅 customer，A 類咧梗係好熱衷啊，先鋒嚟㗎啦。B 類咧就係佢哋有 concern，C 類咧就係都知道有 problem， 但係未必有 action。D 類咧就直情唔睬你啦咁。嗱，永遠都係有啲咁嘅情況。咁你睇到個 percentage wise 個分佈嘅。咁如果係商業嘅機會裏邊，呢啲 green customer 嘅 population 雖然係細，但係咧係 growth 緊嘅一個 population 嚟嘅。咁你睇到咧，即係有1成嘅人一定係好 active， 有3成嘅人咧係會跟上，即係話呢4成嘅人，呢啲1成嘅先行者 early adopter 咧係 marketing， 或者係B， 即係呢啲3-4成嘅人，呢度就係我哋要首先喺個社會裏邊去推動去 engage 佢嗰個最先嘅 grouping。咁呢度咧，我哋要 identify， 譬如我哋自己有一啲 pioneers 嘅 program 就叫 Climateers， 咁咧就最近都傾緊同環境局係合作，有一啲 program 去到社區，因為我哋會發覺有一啲人咧係先會去 react 嘅，佢哋好關心 Climateers。我哋so far 2007年開始 launch 到而家有超過15000個 members 啦，已經。咁佢哋係特別關心即係 green issues 啊、low carbon lifestyle 啊、climate change 嘅。咁你睇到另外一個 survey 都係 similar result 嘅，即係個 percentage 分佈嚇，不過用唔同名嘅啫，即係嗰班都係啲 pioneers 嚟嘅。咁 OK， 咁咧就去到呢度。OK， 原來我夠鐘啦嚇，啱啱想開始講啫，咁唔緊要啦。咁咧就3樣嘢咧係即係點解大家唔 engage 咧？第一唔認識嚇，咁呢個牽涉教育嘅問題。第二咧就好多 barriers 嚇，即係我知道而家譬如話3色桶加咗好多，一路我見到個數字一路加嚇。早1年2年咧，我每次見到人都話，即係啲人都問我，喂，點解冇咁多桶嘅？我點知咧？唔係我負責噶嘛。即係佢哋想做，但係佢揾唔到個桶去掉。即係話咧，有一啲嘅 barriers 喺度咧，佢冇辦法 overcome 嘅嚇，或者係 佢做咗呢啲好嘢，但係呢可能係一個 penalty 嚟嘅。咁呢啲我哋就要留意點樣，無論透過立法。透過一啲 facilitation， 即係話無論係個設施上面各樣嘢，去方便佢去做嘅。因為 behaviour 嘅嘢咧係個 competition 嚟嘅，即係我唔做 A behaviour 嘅時候，我就會做 B 嘅 behaviour。咁而家我哋係要 drive 佢去翻我哋 desire 嗰個嘅部分。第三就係人都係比較拒絕改變，但係如果即係能夠佢睇到原來做係 feel good。佢會覺得個 peer 一路做緊，成個社會都去做緊嘅話咧，就重要啦。咁呢度就係即係我哋睇到整個氣候變化報告裏邊咧，我哋將減排個責任咧，唔好淨係交俾兩間電力公司，而係咧個 peers 大家一齊要去做。OK， 好，我知夠鐘。咁所以咧，即係。依個咧就係話，而家開始 engage 佢哋，而家大家一齊做，市民原來你都有責任。嗱，所有最近期啲 climate change 嘅 survey 都係話香港市民最關心 climate change。當然關心同去 action 咧，我哋知道有個 gap 嘅嚇，即係一埋到身嗰次個電台節目就話。喂，咁梗係政府要做啦，關我哋咩事啫？咁樣，咁個主持問佢：咁你做唔做啊？關我咩事啊？喂，而家出邊咁多燈，你睇下銅鑼灣嗰啲10幾支燈喺度開住，咁嘥電，點解要我呢個小市民做呢？咁，即係我哋明個 reality 嘅。咁但係呢，正係咁嘅 reality 嘅時候，係咪需要我哋而家就應該即係 take action 去 engage 更多嘅 public 去做呢？因為所有嘅 survey 都睇到香港人係願意做嘅。過去上年地球1小時有200幾萬人參加，雖然係好簡單一個動作，所以肯做啦嚇，熄燈1個鐘，咁但係都有過200萬嘅香港市民參加。咁我覺得我哋係要繼續個 momentum 繼續去做。好多謝各位。
而家時間咧5點半。我哋過去3個半鐘頭咧，點解有機會去討論或者有呢個興趣去討論呢個氣候變化問題咧？喺香港，其實源於咧就係有一份文件出咗嚟，咁所以好適合地咧，而家我哋有機會揾呢個文件嘅始作俑者咧，邱騰華局長咧做一啲回應總結，同我哋分享下，好嘛？請阿邱局長。
麻煩backdrop 嗰度播一播阿邱局長段片。可以播啦，唔該。
我想留住我哋嘅冬天啊！
無論身處任何一個角落，我哋都希望有好嘅環境。
綠色香港，我鍾意。
酷熱天氣警告仍然生效。
本港過去100年氣溫不斷上升，
水浸非常嚴重，有車被淹沒。
有市民話天氣熱嘅日子越嚟越長。
好多時我哋使用能源會增加二氧化碳嘅排放，氣候變化已經影響到我哋，仲會逐漸加劇。減少碳排放由綠色生活開始。舒緩氣候變化，減少碳排放，由綠色生活開始。投 入自然，投入生活，綠色香港，我中意。
好，唔該晒先。難得大家可以捱到呢一個鐘數啊。我想未開始之前呢，我想問下在座嘅人有幾多個係睇咗呢一份文件？未睇嘅舉一舉手。大家都好坦白係。又有幾多人睇咗今日大會即係 SynergyNet 準備嘅呢一份背景文件？即係佢有一份公共政策圓桌系列6氣候變化應對政府、商界及本地社群角色，有幾多人睇咗？都係差唔多嚇。OK。第一我要讚一讚 SynergyNet，因為佢哋都好勤力，即係做咗一份文件出嚟。咁我有睇嘅。其實去討論氣候變化嗰個問多一個問題，有幾多人睇過頭先嗰幾套片嘅咧？輕輕多啲啊。OK， 去討論氣候變化問題咧，其實大家頭先都講咗好多個具體例子。我想用 HSBC 喺上個月做一個有關香港嘅氣候變化嘅調查，作為一個引子。佢做得好簡單嘅，但係老實講即係頭先你聽到 William 用引述英國嘅例子，或者有其他講者其他例子。咁呢個就比較新鮮熱辣啲。呢個係我哋出咗呢一份嘅諮詢文件之後。有一間銀行 commission 一個 study 去做嘅，咁咧佢話第一氣候變化咧首次成為香港人最關心嘅話題。佢話大概有1/4，即係25% 嘅受訪者咧認為氣候變化係佢哋最關注嘅問題，25%啊。咁其次咧先至係經濟問題啦。呢個同我上任呢幾年。包括我在未做呢份工之前，我做新聞處長嘅時候，我哋有好多時做啲 internal poll， 呢個係一個改變嘅，因為咧一路以嚟喺香港其他好多 study 裏面咧，通常環境嘅問題排喺第幾位？通常係穩手而拉命，一定係第2位嘅。第1位成日都會轉嘅，但係第2個通常都係環境問題。呢個 survey 係第一次我見到咧，就係譬如氣候變化環境問題係去到第1位。第2個佢得出嚟結果咧，就係港人對氣候變化一般認知程度極高，佢話。83% 嘅人咧對呢個問題咧係略知一二，咁佢同其他地方比較，佢話呢個比較之中咧，全世界我哋係最高嘅，有成80幾嘅人都話我約莫知道呢樣嘢。不過咧裡面咧又僅有15% 嘅人對此有深入認識。嗱呢個係兩個極端，好多人都覺得喂呢樣嘢係應該我哋知嘅，即係你同佢講氣候變化知唔知？知，關唔關心都關心嘅。咁但係佢個認識程度點咧？咁同樣地咧就係15% 嘅人咧就話我有深入嘅認識。咁呢個又唔出奇，因為咧我好多時我平均1-2個月都去一間大學或者中學去講學。通常你講氣候變化咧，然後你當個台下發言嘅時候問翻啲人問題咧，大部分嘅問題咧都會問翻係空氣污染嘅。即係到今日為止，好多環境嘅問題咧，空氣污染同氣候變化有相關，但係兩個自然不同嘅環境問題咧，仍然啲人會係混淆咗。咁所以頭先有幾位講者深入淺出咁講出氣候變化同我哋嘅關係，呢個係重要嘅，呢個係重要嘅嚇。因為香港人係關心呢個問題，但係佢關心嘅程度去到邊一度咧？咁呢個係即係中間仲有個落差。第3方面咧，佢就話其中咧67% 嘅受訪者咧，佢話只有在不增加成本、能發揮效益，或在有選擇嘅情況之下咧，先至會購買體現環保責任嘅金融產品。因為可能呢個係因為銀行做嘅，即係話其實點解就話，即係其實佢哋支持呢樣嘢，身體嚟去做咧，其實都有 condition 嘅，即係最好就唔好增加成本啦，有能夠發揮效益，即係講實啲就即係有着數啦，同埋有選擇之下嚇。咁但係咧，亦都有一個可取嘅就係話，佢亦都有43% 嘅人咧係願意支付較高價錢購買具能源效益嘅產品，即係佢願意付出。嗱，我諗呢一個多少反映出而家香港呢個情況。第一，香港人關唔關心呢個問題呢？絕對係關心，亦都多咗人關心。認知嘅程度係可能未到一個呢，好似我哋今日在座呢一個咁嘅形式。因為我去好多呢類嘅論壇嘅時候呢，今日係一個少有，可能我呢一節呢係多人深入淺出講翻一啲即係所謂行為嘅問題。較為貼身嘅問題，因為好多時咧一講氣候變化咧，我就變咗同阿 Gloria Greenpeace 喺度大家唱對台，因為咧就即刻去聚焦咗單一嘅議題。咁呢樣對 Greenpeace 唔公平，對我亦都唔公平，對全香港人都唔公平，因為我哋好似突然間就將氣候變化就等同要唔要核電。咁呢個係一個我哋極唔理想，亦都極唔想睇到嘅問題。我頭先特別攞Synergy Net 呢一份新力量網絡呢一份文件裏面咧，佢好罕有地咧，就可能為咗應合呢個題目，話政府做啲咩咧？佢喺個第3頁裏面咧，竟然列舉咗22項咧係政府做嘅嘢。咁呢個你唔好當係我成績表啦。但係如果你睇第3頁個 bullet point 有22項，其實呢22項裏面咧，有10幾項係同氣候變化冇直接關係嘅，有啲係只係即係其他方面廢物處理啊、空氣污染啊等等。邊啲有關係咧？譬如發展綠色珠三角優質生活圈呢個有關係，因為我哋同廣東省傾呢個問題，唔係淨係傾空氣，我哋傾緊成個區域係做低碳經濟，呢個係有關係嘅。同國家能源局簽訂嗰個備忘錄，令到有西氣東輸都係有關係，因為我哋嘅大前提唔係淨係要去攞氣，而希望有一個低碳啲嘅方式。能源標籤當然有關係啦，強制性嘅能源標籤計劃當然有關係啦，綠色香港碳審計活動當然有關係啦。鼓勵市民以慳電膽取代鎢絲燈泡當然有關係啦。增加使用非化石清潔低碳能源有關啦。嗰個綠色運輸基金，因為我哋都係希望鼓勵，譬如電動車嗰類嘅較為低碳嘅交通工具引入，當然有關係啦。建築物能源效益守則當然有關係啦。咁如果我睇22項裡面咧，就大概有8項都有關係，但係咧佢漏咗有幾樣嘢，我哋呢幾年做咧都係直接同呢有關係。呢個包括咩咧？包括好實際嘅，頭先話有着數嘅嘢。我哋喺18個月前推一個建築物能源效益，我哋用咗我哋擺低咗4億5千萬，而裡面有2億元已經係使咗㗎啦，已經有4200棟嘅香港嘅大廈，包括住宅、商業樓宇同埋工業大廈，都係咧攞緊我哋呢一個配對基金，做緊一啲實質上嘅節能嘅工作，亦都有另外4000棟排緊隊。咁我成日都講呢個數字，呢個數字一日喺度轉緊。如果簡單嚟講，8000棟樓宇咧，係我哋全香港現有嘅樓宇嘅1/5，即係話咧，即使我哋喺度講緊嘅時候咧，呢18個月裏面咧，香港其實有一啲人咧，就按頭先嗰個調查裏面咧，佢見到有着數咧，開始去做緊。嗱，我唔好理佢嘅動機係咩嘢，但係呢一個係香港嗰個能源效益裏面咧，其實一個重要嘅一步，因為咧實踐係檢驗真理最好嘅方法。而咧講咩都好啦，你要講行為改變咧，頭先有幾位講者都提到啦。有時喺香港呢個社會裏面咧，冇着數咧，啲人係唔喐嘅，因為咧通常我哋講環境嘅政策裏面咧，通常去到立法會第一個問題就問使唔使使錢嘅，政府有咩投入嘅，咁呢類通常咁，但係嗱呢一個係其中一個喺呢度冇列舉出嚟。另外一個咧就係政府嘅採購政策。其實呢幾年裏面咧，我哋由環境保護署牽頭，同埋其他部門一齊嚟做啦。我哋將政府嘅採購嗰個清單一路更換。原先咧有30幾個大類別嘅係有環保採購嘅，而家已經去到103個。裡面其中一個較為好明顯嘅就係，即使可能要付出多啲嘅代價，政府去用緊。譬如政府而家所購買所有嘅汽車咧，絕大部分係以混能為主。亦都有購買電動汽車，咁呢個係我哋改咗個採購政策。又或者咧，近期我哋之所以譬如話玻璃樽可以開始啟動到回收，就係政府喺路政署裏面咧話，將來我哋所有嘅鋪設道路嘅地方咧，我哋先採用有即係 recycle 嘅含量嘅物料等等。咁呢個係政府嘅 procurement， 亦都有一啲係政府以身作則嘅咧，就係政府嘅樓宇本身係某一個比例上邊咧會做能源審計嘅，亦都政府話將來我哋起嘅所有大廈咧，如果係超過某一個，其實都絕大部分都會係，就會我哋用香港嗰個綠色建築嗰個 BIM 裏面咧第2高嘅標準。咁呢個就係政府自己採取嘅方法，我哋喺內部裏面做啦，包埋亦都有電動車嘅推展啦，同埋譬如話生化柴油嗰個立法等等。嗱，我列舉呢度，即係如果係咁樣計咧，就連同呢個名單用翻即係 Synergy Net 嗰個名單裏面咧，如果加埋我頭先嗰5項，27項裏面咧，其實已經有15項咧係同呢個 氣候變化係有關。我點解咁講呢？就其實喺我自己睇翻由07年到呢幾年裏面嘅施政報告呢，我哋其實逐步開始希望喺成個政府嗰個政綱嘅發展裏面呢，去加入呢一個元素。喺07年嘅時候，我哋可能最初提嘅時候比較簡單一啲，但係當年係一個好特別嘅情況咧，就07年係亞太經合組織第一次能夠達成一個呢20幾個國家呢有一個共同嘅減排嘅目標嘅。雖然佢未能夠滿足到好似即係當日我哋原本去哥本哈根會議希望期望到個，但係起碼嗰個係呢20幾個經濟體系係承諾，當年我哋立即做咗。咁跟住落去嘅時候呢，我哋開始講即係其他嘅低碳經濟啊，或者係建築物能源效益啊，我哋訂立法例啊，諸如此類。去到今年呢，我哋係將呢一份咁嘅諮詢嘅文件裏面嘅大要呢，希望作為我哋嘅施政藍圖。咁即係話呢幾年嚟呢，我哋嘅政府我哋希望將呢個低碳作為一個政策嘅大嘅方向去做。咁但係你話正本歸源，如果我哋點去做呢？其實頭先我相信呢一節嗰啲講者裏面呢，好集中係講緊個人啊、商業機構啊，以至某一啲特定行業可以做嘅嘢。但係其實如果你睇翻成個香港社會可以去點做呢？其實呢一份文件我哋係花咗心思，希望大家一齊去做呢個工作。而呢一個方向呢，唔係坊間我哋而家淨係如果你睇報紙，如果你睇你或者 Google Search，你講 climate change 最近即係呢2個月裏面呢，如果你一 search 嗰樣嘢，大部分出嚟就係核電嘅啫。但係如果你睇呢份文件嘅第5.6段，我哋好清楚就要講明呢，有5個大方向，就係香港要應對氣候變化呢，我哋而家初步列舉出嚟嘅方向。呢個係源於乜嘢呢？源於我哋有一個我成日都中意攞出嚟講嘅，即係就嚟俾人笑㗎啦。有一次我仲自己要除埋對鞋出嚟，就係因為嗰隻腳印。因為咧喺香港，如果你講氣候變化咧，就唔能夠唔睇我哋嗰隻腳印。我哋嗰隻腳印喺第幾頁啊？係啦，喺第15頁呢隻腳印。即係話每一個地區、每一個城市咧，可能都有唔同嘅碳足印。如果你要正本歸源嘅時候，有啲地方話我應該踩多啲單車，有啲地方話我應該即係見多啲風車嚇。但係喺香港嘅情況，如果我哋要針對翻香港嘅城市，如果我要令到社會各界都能夠有一個凝聚力去處理我哋個問題嘅時候呢，政府政策通常都有一個比較大嘅方向傾向性，就不能不睇呢一個腳印。呢個腳印裏面講得好清楚就係我哋自己嘅碳排放呢係2/3 67% 係能源所產生嘅，而呢能源裏面呢，有90%係用於建築物，咁所以好自然呢個第一個大方向。咁所以呢一個呢，我諗喺坊間好多討論氣候變化組織呢，無論你係綠色定唔綠色嘅組織啦，商界嘅組織啦，以至普通嘅市民，你好清楚節能，尤其是喺你嘅居所、工作嘅地方、生活嘅地方，就一定係一個最大嘅空間。亦都係點解我頭先所講有一啲嘅措施或者資源已經係投入。呢個係走唔甩嘅，呢個必須要做，而且喺我哋嘅文件裏面咧，亦都花個好大嘅篇幅。我每一次都去講嘅就係你去睇翻即係第5.8大段嗰度就係我哋嘗試由幾個大方向處理翻嚟。其實香港喺嗰個節能嘅空間係好大嘅。簡單嚟講就係我哋今日嘅建築物，如果要新起一座建築物咧，隨時一座新嘅建築物可以比現有嘅建築物咧係節能超過75%以上都得嘅。咁另外就係話呢個建築物嘅節能咧，亦都唔單止係要一啲咧係你好克己啊，或者要好約束性，你要即係整個 manual 俾你去做。有好多嘢即係頭先唔記得邊位係咪啊？好似係吳教授有話第5個大發明咧，有個燈掣咧，連嗰個燈掣都唔使嘅。即係喺我哋嘅寫字樓裏面咧，我哋一個 sensor 係即係你唔需要自己喐動都好咧，有一啲方法可以做。即係話我哋喺我哋嘅寫字樓、我哋嘅屋企裏面有好多空間，呢方面係可以做得到，而呢個係唾手可得嘅嘢嚟嘅。咁所以如果我哋睇翻呢一個腳印裏面咧，能源係佔67%，而同建築物有關。呢個當然係第一個大方向。第二個方向咧就係運輸方面。運輸方面離奇地香港係個碳足印係細18%，相對嚟講係細。甚至咧，我舊年去哥本哈根咧，哥本哈根好多人踩單車啦。但係佢嗰個碳足印咧，如果係運輸界邊仲少過香港，呢個就得利於我哋係嗰個集體運輸鐵路好好。但係我哋都睇得到，我哋其實即使係咁，我哋個公共交通運輸系統裏面其實仍然有空間 可以節能。即使話地鐵都可以節能，咁地鐵係用電㗎嘛，電即係逢係用電嘅地方其實都可以節能啦。更加唔好講話小巴啊、巴士啊、的士等等。而仲有一個咧，勿因害小或者利小而不為而為之，就係轉廢為能。雖然嗰個廢物處理只佔我哋5%嘅碳排放，但係嗰個絕對可以由一個負債表邊咧轉為係一個即係盈餘嘅。嗱，咁呢個就係香港嗰個情況。我哋希望喺呢一份嘅文件裏面咧帶出咧就係話，從呢個腳印裏面，點解我哋提出喺建築物能源嗰度有5大方向要做嘅？點解喺綠色運輸裏面，我哋希望定到一個將來未來嘅嗰個標準，可以令到譬如話30%嘅交通工具可以係嚟自電動汽車，亦都話點解我哋咁堅持，除咗係處理廢物之外咧，亦都希望將呢啲廢物處理係轉廢為能，減低嗰個甲烷，從而咧係愛嚟產電。嗱，咁呢個係成套理論係好清楚喺度。而當然啦，當我哋做完嗰個需求，當然做完需求嗰方面，即係 demand side 做完之外，由我經常去一啲場合都係見，即係好多人話：喂，你成日推電動車，咁但係如果我哋發電仲係用緊一啲好高碳、好邋遢嘅能源嘅時候，咁你究竟推電動車個意義喺邊度呢？咁所以好自然地喺嗰個能源組合裏面係必須要更新。而今日香港嘅能源嘅組合係落後，54%係嚟自燃煤嘅，23%係嚟自天然氣。呢個雖然可以增加，但係天然氣嗰個碳足印都比起其他嘅可再生能源或者核能咧都係高好大。咁所以個方向係清楚，亦都喺呢一個咁嘅情景之下咧，我哋要諗，如果我哋將來要選擇嘅時候點？嗱，喺呢條路上面咧有幾個挑戰啊。第一個挑戰咧就係時間。我有時好羨慕呢一啲西方國家或者發達地區嗰啲2分鐘嗰啲我啲老友，即係如果佢大家從政嘅時候咧，佢哋可以講話我2050嘅時候我減80%俾你。但係我諗我去完舊年哥本哈根會議翻嚟嘅時候，我好大嘅感覺咧就係話，我哋如果講2050，甚至講2040，有少少不切實際。如果我哋即係當我哋睇得到一啲島國一啲好貧乏嘅地區，頭先林超英都俾咗一啲地方，佢哋嗰個排放已經係即係九牛一毛，但係佢哋所承受嗰個苦果係今日已經喺度。咁所以我諗喺我哋制定我哋嗰個目標嘅時候，我寧願去一個即係好高遠、好靚嘅幾廿年之後嘅嘢，定話盡量喺未來呢10年之間，起碼喺我哋明白知道今日制定一個政策可以改變到嘅時空間裏面做一啲嘢呢。咁所以2020定出50至60碳強度減50%至60%咧，絕對唔係一個攞出嚟講，而係必須要做到嘅一個目標。亦都呢個目標我哋好清楚知道呢，你可以話碳強度啱唔啱，或者有冇其他方法，但係喺呢一份文件裏亦都清楚指出，如果我哋能夠達到呢一個目標嘅時候呢，喺10年之間，香港嘅總嘅碳排放嘅量，冇取巧嘅，係實質嘅量係會減少20%至1/3。呢個好實質，呢個係我哋可以量度得到，亦都係一個即係具體嘅目標。所以我諗喺而家嚟講，香港要問自己嘅一個問題就係我哋作為一個富裕嘅城市，我哋作為一個有選擇嘅城市，我哋作為一個具競爭力嘅城市，我哋應該定一個乜嘢嘅目標？寧願定高啲定低啲？咁個傾向我諗好明顯。第二就係如果要定到一個目標之後，我哋能唔能夠引領到成個社會去做呢？除咗政府喺訂立法例、推出政策，甚至我頭先所講資源擺咗喺度之餘，我哋用乜嘢方法令到成個社會可以同我哋同步一齊去做呢？有人提到就係政治決心啊等等，咁我成日都好羨慕倫敦嘅市長 Ken Livingstone， 幾年之前即係佢能夠喺倫敦市嗰度即係推出個 congestion charge。頭先有人提到佢上次嚟香港嘅時候，我亦都好開心揾埋佢同埋啲立法會議員一齊講。咁啲立法會議員問佢：你點解可以做到 congestion charge？ 咁佢好直接咁講，就因為佢唔需要過 City Assembly。咁我諗今日去做好多環境嘅工作呢，係要跨好多欄嘅。你未必需要好似劉翔咁樣，但係一定有好多欄去跨。今日已經香港社會嘅討論已經唔係到你話即係點應唔應該做，而係點樣先至可以做得到。 膠袋徵費呢條法例，我原先以為喺我任內嘅第一年可以做到，如果第二年先做到。上個禮拜我結果通過咗建築物能源效益嘅條例，不單止係新建嘅樓宇，現有嘅樓宇我哋都去管。我哋都好好彩，即係雖然有一啲所謂 hiccup，但係我哋都跨過咗。嚟緊落嚟，如果我要再做其他嘢，甚至要改變個能源組合，當然係困難啦。但我諗即係香港係一個好開放嘅社會，亦都好多嘅爭論，甚至大家睇嗰幾條片，有人頭先有人提到點解你唔用新一代嘅後生仔嗰一代去 drive 我哋？你見到我哋07年開始，我已經用小朋友。有冇一啲人話點解你唔教我用一啲嘢 do's and don'ts 啊？你見到有啲片我用咗26個 click， 30秒裡面又教咗你26樣嘢啦。咁係咪就係咁就可以做得到呢？我係爭咗一樣嘢未嚇大家，就係話個世界天要跌落嚟。咁我諗今日呢個討論係有用嘅，呢類嘅討論能夠即係將我哋嗰個討論拉闊同埋加深嘅時候呢，先至有一個空間去討論翻我哋係唔係覺得我哋需要一個政策嘅框架，我哋係咪同意我哋而家列舉出嚟嗰套嘅方法？我哋係唔係要為氣候變化所帶嚟嘅仲有一啲惡性嘅影響及早作出準備？咁呢個討論空間仲有好大好大。咁我期望即係呢類嘅討論唔單止係喺呢一個 forum， 呢個其實 more well informed 嘅 forum， 我哋希望佢可以帶到去坊間。有唔同意見唔緊要，即係話你話由23% 去到50%，你覺得唔好，你可以出聲。咁但係喺出聲嘅時候，亦都提議就你有冇咩其他方法可以攞出嚟一齊可以即係向前下一步呢？呢個係我哋做呢份諮詢嘅時候呢，心底裏面最想聽見嘅嘢。我亦都相信亦都係今日嘅主辦單位搞呢個論壇嗰個目標。多謝各位。
多謝邱局長。時間接近6點啦，但我都希望咧有一個機會俾台下朋友咧。如果有問題或者簡短嘅意見咧，把握呢個機會，好唔好啊？即係如果有問題想問嘅，請你而家舉手啊。係呢位朋友同埋呢位係。
邱局長嘅想問問就頭先你提到我哋有67% 嘅碳排放主要係嚟自發電，其餘嗰啲就嚟自其他地方。但係今日嘅會議裏邊，其他有一部分咧，有啲朋友都提醒我哋就話，而家你係好似俾我印象係講緊直接排放，但係有啲間接排放，譬如頭先講到核電廠嘅製造過程，其實係可以個碳排放係好高嘅。咁等等呢啲好似喺嗰個計算裏邊，甚至乎 problem solving 嘅嗰啲方法上面，好似都淨係 tackle 喺嗰個直接排放嗰度，譬如消費嗰度喺食物上面，我哋知道而家甲烷係喺畜牧場嗰度係好高嘅，我哋冇去處理呢部分，好似呢，我哋只不過將我哋係清潔咗，但係其他地方呢，或者喺嗰個之前個源頭嗰度呢，已經製造咗好多嘅碳排放。即係呢度好似喺個文件裏邊俾我印象就係只係處理直接嗰部分，間接嗰部分或者嗰啲好似唔直接同我哋而家即刻排放出嚟嗰啲有關嗰啲就冇處理咁樣，係咪我呢個印象係啱嘅呢？
仲有呢位朋友係嘛？
係咁我就姓鄧嘅，咁就喺香港大學附屬學院嘅學生嚟嘅，咁亦都係呢個向燒街衣說不，向清新空氣說得呢個網絡群組嘅召集人。咁第一樣嘢呢，咁我就睇過呢個諮詢文件呢，好似冇提過即係啲人喺盂蘭節燒街衣嘅問題。我舊年喺呢個 AQO 嘅 review 嗰個諮詢我都有提過嚇。咁就即係好明顯有人為嘅行為啦，呢個燒街衣，同埋我覺得係好不必要啦。同埋即係大家有冇留意燒街衣呢？佢除咗喺條街度燒，同埋佢會喺嗰啲地區性嘅球場嗰度搭個壇嚟燒嘅喎，仲係燒足成個月嘅喎嚇，仲係喺隻夏天嚟燒嘅喎嚇。另外一方面呢，就係同公共運輸巴士嗰方面。咁就舊年 AQO 啲文件咧有提及過話，提早淘汰呢個歐盟2期嘅巴士啦。呢點我就唔係好贊成。點解呢？地球資料呢個組織咧，佢就即係佢俾呢個建議嘅時候咧，佢忽略咗咧巴士排放嗰啲熱氣嘅。我親自打過俾蔡家文先生咧， 佢就話冇，即係佢將廢氣同熱氣係分開咁嚟睇嘅。咁就我根據翻咧環保觸覺喺2009年7月發布個新聞稿咧，就空調巴係街道酷熱及污染嘅元兇之一。佢係試過揸個溫度計喺車尾嗰度度嗰個氣温咧係高達47.1度嘅。咁即係如果即係更換啲歐盟2期嘅巴士咧，而換入咧歐盟5期嘅車，可能更熱嘅喎，唔知會唔會50度嘅喎。咁如果係搞到更多人容易中暑或者鼻敏感呢，咁係咪真係值得去做呢？第三樣係
我哋
OK 好。
局長可以回答啦，但係其他嘅講者，如果你覺得有啲嘢想補充或者回應嘅，都可以即係歡迎你。
好，或者我簡單答。第一個問題第二部分即係講到話，譬如核能嗰個所謂 carbon footprint 咧，其實喺我哋文件裏面第41頁裏面咧都有做一個比較嘅。即係我哋如果去睇嗰個能源比較嘅時候咧，我哋唔係單係講即係使用嘅時候，我哋係講埋所謂佢成個即係 life cycle。咁所以咧喺第41頁裏面咧，下邊嗰度有一個表，將煤、天然氣、太陽能、光伏板、風同埋核能咧嗰個總嘅碳排放足跡咧，去做一個比較，咁你可以睇得清楚啦。另外你提到即係頭先亦都有講者提到就係話直接排放或者間接排放，係其實有好多種計法，不同嘅地方可能不同嘅計法。有啲人會覺得就係你應該將所有貿易數字花落去。咁不過我成日諗下就係話，即係你點樣計都好啦。第一，正本歸源喺直接排放，我哋可以量化，可以清楚知道呢啲係香港嘅排放嘅時候，一定要處理佢。喺區域裏面咧，其實我頭先列舉嗰個文件裏邊，我哋做呢個低碳嘅發展嘅時候，我哋都唔係淨係為香港做，我哋都係希望同成個區裏面做。咁所以你見到呢幾年我哋喺廣東省裏面咧，都希望建立一個所謂綠色珠三角嘅優質生活圈裏面，其中一個咧就係能源點樣將佢清潔化，點樣進行一個低碳化。但係我亦都希望大家留意咧，就係嗰類嘅不同嘅數字，可能俾到呢個不同嘅結果嘅。即係我喺美國做過幾年嘢，如果你話淨係將一個貿易數字去處理嘅時候咧，如果你話將即係如果用嗰個計法，令到香港嗰個排放嘅數字咧睇起上嚟仲高過美國咧，我就打死都唔服㗎啦。咁所以大家要留意，即係不同嘅數字咧，可能即係得出一個咩印象？但係我哋大家有個所謂 common sense 嘅，香港嗰個數字係高係低，其實我哋自己知道嘅。大概我哋嘅生活方式係影響好大，但係亦都我哋嘅能源使用亦都係其中一個例子。咁所以我諗，無論你用乜嘢方式都好啦，其實正本歸源頭先嗰扎嘢咧，都必須要面對，都必須要做嘅。加衣嗰度我諗嗰個其實係我諗對個空氣污染嗰個問題係大過即係碳排放，因為你如果計起上嚟，而家香港有幾人燒加衣。不過你提嗰個問題就喺另外一個場合，我哋而家都有啲嘢做緊嘅，即係我哋其實同好多嘅所謂funeral homes。而家講緊就係話譬如因為有好多 funeral homes 其實係我哋啲慈善機構，我前幾年做過一樣嘢，我哋就係為一啲慈善團體將佢轉咗一個綠色嘅團體，即係話咧佢除咗管醫院、管學校之外咧，佢會管埋咧廟宇同埋咧呢個funeral home 即係殯儀館啊。我哋都係有啲地方係同佢合作咧，睇下佢可唔可以裝置一啲嘢咧，係減少嗰個污染。咁呢方面有做嘅。最後巴士嗰個咧係我諗巴士而家表面上係都係一個空氣污染嘅問題。我哋今次喺使錢喺個催化器裏面都係希望減少個二氧化氮，但係中長遠嚟講咧，其實巴士作為路邊裏面一個主要嘅熱力同埋呢個污染源嘅排放源頭咧，其實諗一諗咧就係話電動汽車嘅發展可能係一個好處，因為電動汽車相對於內燃機咧，內燃機係70%嘅能源咧係喺噪音、熱力嗰度散發咗去。電咧一個電車咧，電力嗰個能源咧絕大部分係用於推動嗰個基建，所以點解譬如我而家用緊嘅電車，你企喺個電車隔離咧，你唔會覺得咁熱。咁所以即係亦都係印證翻就係話，雖然喺我哋個交通運輸嗰度嗰個碳嘅排放相對嚟講係低，但係嗰度其實亦都有一個空間去做。咁當然就係問題就係幾快我哋可以見到有電動嘅巴士或者適合香港嘅雙層巴士去做。咁呢個係一個技術嘅問題。
我諗喺我總結今日嘅研討會之前呢，我想提醒大家兩樣嘢。第一樣呢，就喺你哋入嚟嘅時候有個 folder 嘅，個 folder 裏邊呢有一張藍色咁嘅字條嘅。咁裏邊呢係俾大家呢，就係對今日嘅研討會有咩意見嘅時候呢，希望你臨走前1分鐘呢，寫低你嘅意見，然後走嘅時候呢交翻去我哋 reception 嗰度。咁第二樣呢，最重要啦，其實就係關於呢個諮詢文件呢。10月10號咧就係截止㗎啦。如果大家咩意見咧，我都希望大家把握呢個機會表達你嘅睇法嚇。咁總結呢個研討會咧其實好簡單嘅啫。我想借用頭先阿 William Yu 講咗一句稍稍修改佢咧，其實可能已經反映到我哋而家問題所在。佢就話我啱開始想做啲嘢，但係其實已經夠鐘啦。呢個可能係而家我哋地球處於嘅狀態。咁再次多謝大家經過有咁好嘅耐性參與我哋今次研討會足足4個小時以上。亦都再次多謝各位嘉賓講者，多謝邱局長，多謝。希望12月18號可以再見到大家，多謝。
其實我有少少補充啊。咁喺頭先嘅意見表後面呢，咁仲有一個呢係我哋嘅會條嚟㗎。咁如果我哋每一次完咗我哋嘅圓桌會議之後呢，都會有一個會學記錄嘅特刊出嘅係。咁如果大家有興趣收到嘅話呢，咁就麻煩都填埋你個人嘅資料，咁就加翻俾 reception 就 OK 㗎啦。咁就多謝大家嚟出席今次公共政策圓桌系列。咁我哋已經圓滿結束啦。咁下一次係10月18號星期六嚟嘅。多謝各位。大家可以隨便咁另外咧，如果有唔要嘅文件嘅話，我哋出邊有啲回收箱嘅，係咁環保，咁大家希望可以如果有啲唔要嘅紙張啊，或者可以回收嘅物品都擺喺出邊嘅回收箱。多謝各位。